Today, we're diving into a fascinating theory that offers a unique perspective on how generational dynamics shape societal change. Join me as we explore the fourth turning theory, developed by historians William Strauss and Neil Howe. This theory proposes a cyclical pattern of generational archetypes and their impact on the course of history. Howdy, I'm just some random nude dude sitting in my closet talking to myself. It's also where I celebrate the power of free thinking and encourage bold ideas. As a society, we're often afraid to challenge the norms and think outside the box. But here, I embrace the unconventional. So sit back, relax, and join me on this journey of exploration where we embrace our inner nude dude and push boundaries to discover new perspectives. Today, we're embarking on an intellectual journey into the captivating theory that offers a truly unique lens through which to view the intricacies of generational dynamics and their profound influence on societal evolution. In this video, we're diving headfirst into the thought-provoking fourth turning theory, a concept meticulously developed by renowned historians William Strauss and Neil Howe. This theory isn't just a set of ideas. It's a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of how history unfolds. It proposes a cyclical pattern, a sort of rhythmic heartbeat that pulses through generations, shaping the very course of human society. But what exactly does this theory entail? Well, it's all about generational archetypes, those distinct groups of people who came of age together and share common experiences, beliefs, and values. According to Strauss and Howe, these archetypes influence the grand tapestry of history in predictable and profoundly impactful ways. Today, I'll be your guide on this enlightening journey through the fourth turning. We'll demystify the theory, delve into its core principles, and illustrate how it has played out in history. You'll gain insights into the ebb and flow of generations, and by the end of this video, you'll see the world around you with a newfound clarity. So, without further ado, let's plunge into the fascinating world of the fourth turning theory and uncover the secrets it holds about shaping our past, present, and future. Buckle up, because it's going to be an eye-opening ride. At the core of the fourth turning theory are four distinct generational archetypes: prophets, nomads, heroes, and artists. Prophets are the idealistic rebels who emerge during times of crisis, while nomads are pragmatic and adaptive, focusing on rebuilding after the crisis. Heroes step up during periods of optimism, driven by a sense of duty and a desire to protect society. Lastly, artists arise in times of relative calm and prosperity, emphasizing individualism and self-expression. To grasp the fourth turning theory, it's essential to delve deeper into the concept of generational archetypes. These archetypes are pivotal in shaping the theory's framework and offer valuable insights into how different generations influence the trajectory of society. Prophets are the first generational archetype in the cycle, and they emerge during times of crisis. They're characterized by their idealism, rebellious spirit, and a fervent desire to reshape the world. These individuals often challenge established norms and institutions, advocating for radical changes. Think of the baby boomers in the 1960s, who led the civil rights and anti-war movements, as a prime example of the prophet generation. In the fourth turning theory, prophets are the first generational archetype to emerge within the cycle. They play a crucial role in shaping the response to society's current and impending challenges. Here we'll delve deeper into the characteristics and impact of the prophet generation. Prophets are marked by their idealism and a deep-seated belief in their ability to change the world. They see the flaws and injustices in society and are often driven by a strong moral compass to address these issues. This generation tends to rebel against established norms and traditions. They challenge the status quo and question authority, sometimes even engaging in acts of civil disobedience or protest to push for change. Prophets are passionate advocates for their causes. They have a fervent desire to make a lasting impact and are willing to make sacrifices for their beliefs. This passion often fuels their activism. Prophets are not afraid to take risks to achieve their goals. They may be willing to confront societal taboos or challenge deeply ingrained beliefs if they perceive these as barriers to progress. While they may face resistance or backlash, prophets are often motivated by a long-term vision of a better society. They're willing to plant the seeds of change that may not fully blossom until future generations. The baby boomer generation, born roughly between 1946 and 1964, is often seen as a prophet generation due to its role in the social and cultural upheaval of the 1960s and early 1970s. This era witnessed civil rights movements, anti-war protests, and a push for greater social justice. Millennials, born roughly between 1981 and 1996, are also considered a prophet generation. They have been at the forefront of movements advocating for climate change awareness, LGBTQ rights, and social equality. Their use of technology and social media has amplified their voices and causes. Prophets have a profound influence on societal change, often acting as catalysts for transformation. Their idealism and willingness to challenge the status quo can lead to significant shifts in cultural norms, policies, and institutions. While their actions may be met with resistance and criticism, they lay the groundwork for the reforms and changes that occur in the subsequent turnings of the fourth turning theory. It's important to note that not every individual within a generation embodies these characteristics, and the impact of the prophets can vary widely depending on the specific historical and cultural context in which they emerge. Nevertheless, understanding the role of prophets within the generational cycle helps shed light on the dynamics of societal change and the enduring quest for a better future. Following the prophets, nomads step into the spotlight during the aftermath of the crisis. They are marked by their pragmatism and adaptive nature. Instead of pushing for radical change, nomads focus on rebuilding and finding practical solutions to the challenges left in the wake of the crisis. This archetype is typified by a sense of resilience and resourcefulness. The nomad generation follows the prophets in the fourth turning theory. While prophets are known for their idealism and rebellion, nomads take on a distinctly different role in the generational cycle, emphasizing pragmatism and the practical aspects of rebuilding society after a crisis. Here's a more detailed exploration of the characteristics and impacts of the nomad generation. Nomads are marked by their pragmatic approach to problem solving. They are less focused on ideology and more concerned with finding practical solutions to the challenges left in the wake of a crisis. This pragmatism often leads to a strong emphasis on rebuilding institutions and infrastructure. Nomads are adaptable and resourceful. They understand the need to work with the tools and resources available, even if those resources are limited or compromised due to the recent crisis. Their ability to adapt to changing circumstances is a key factor in rebuilding society. Nomads recognize the importance of community and cooperation in the rebuilding process. They often emphasize collective efforts to restore stability and ensure the well-being of society as a whole. Unlike the prophets' penchant for change and upheaval, nomads prioritize stability and order. They work to reestablish a sense of normalcy and continuity in the aftermath of a crisis, aiming to prevent further chaos. Nomads are known for their resilience and determination. They are not easily discouraged by the challenges they face during the rebuilding process and often exhibit a strong work ethic. The silent generation, born roughly between 1928 and 1945, which came of age during the post-World War II era, is often considered a nomad generation. They were instrumental in rebuilding both the United States and Europe after the devastation of World War II, focusing on economic recovery, infrastructure development, and institution building. Generation X, born roughly between 1965 and 1980, is another example of a nomad generation. Growing up during periods of economic uncertainty and changing social dynamics, they became known for their independence and adaptability. They played a role in rebuilding institutions and adapting to emerging technologies in the late 20th century. Nomad generations play a vital role in the recovery and stabilization of society after a crisis. Their practical, community-oriented approach helps rebuild essential institutions and infrastructure, often laying the groundwork for a societal order and cohesion that follow. While they may not initiate sweeping ideological changes, like the prophets, their contributions are instrumental in restoring a sense of normalcy and continuity in the wake of adversity. Nomads are, in many ways, a bridge between the disruption caused by crisis, as catalyzed by the prophets, and the subsequent period of societal optimism and rebuilding, led by the hero generation. Their adaptability, pragmatism, and resilience are essential qualities that contribute to the overall resilience and recovery of a society in the fourth turning theory. Heroes come into prominence during the time of high societal mood and optimism. They are characterized by their strong sense of civic duty and their desire to protect and defend their society. Heroes are often credited with instituting significant social and political changes, but they tend to do so within the framework of existing institutions. The greatest generation, who played a pivotal role in World War II and the post-war reconstruction, exemplifies the hero archetype. In the fourth turning theory, the hero generation is the third archetype to emerge, following the prophets and nomads. Heroes are characterized by their strong sense of civic duty, their commitment to protecting and defending their society, and their role in rebuilding institutions and maintaining social order. Let's explore the defining characteristics and impact of the hero generation in more detail. Heroes have a deep sense of civic responsibility and duty to their society. They believe in the importance of maintaining and upholding institutions that promote order and stability. This sense of duty often extends to a willingness to serve in various roles, including the military, government, and community organizations. Heroes play a significant role in rebuilding and strengthening institutions that may have been compromised during a crisis. They work to restore public trust in these institutions and ensure they function effectively for the benefit of society as a whole. Heroes are often known for their ability to unite people and inspire collective action. They're willing to make personal sacrifices for the greater good and often lead by example in times of crisis. Heroes often possess a strong moral authority that commands respect and trust from the broader society. Their actions and leadership are guided by a set of values and principles that align with the best interests of the community. While they may have idealistic aspirations, heroes are also pragmatic in their approach to problem solving. They understand the need for practical solutions and are focused on achieving tangible results. The greatest generation, born roughly between 1901 and 1927, is often considered a hero generation. They came of age during the Great Depression and World War II, a time when their strong sense of civic duty and sacrifice were evident. Their efforts contributed to the rebuilding of the global economy and the establishment of international institutions like the United Nations. While millennials, born roughly between 1981 and 1996, were also described as prophets, their coming of age during the early 21st century has led some to see them as a potential hero generation. Their civic engagement, particularly in issues like climate change and social justice, reflect a commitment to addressing pressing societal challenges. Heroes are instrumental in maintaining social stability and order after a crisis. Their strong sense of duty, institution-building efforts, and willingness to lead during difficult times help restore faith in the functioning of society. They often bridge the gap between the disruption caused by the prophets and the subsequent period of rebuilding and optimism. Heroes leave a lasting legacy on institutional strength and societal cohesion, which can endure for generations to come. In essence, the hero generation plays a pivotal role in navigating society through the challenges posed by a fourth turning crisis, helping to rebuild and reinforce the foundations of a stable and functional society. Their leadership and commitment to civic duty contribute significantly to the theory's cyclical model of generational dynamics and societal change. The final generational archetype, artists, emerged during a time of relative calm and prosperity. These individuals prioritize individualism, self-expression, and creativity. They often challenge societal conformity and pursue personal goals and passions. The artists are known for their contributions to the arts, culture, and the push for greater personal freedoms. In the fourth turning theory, artists are the final generational archetype in the cycle, following the prophets, nomads, and heroes. They emerge during a time of relative calm and prosperity, and they are characterized by their individualistic nature, focus on self-expression, and contributions to culture and creativity. Let's explore the defining characteristics and impact of the artist generation in more detail. Artists value individuality and personal freedom. They emphasize the importance of self-expression and often reject conformity and societal norms that may restrict their creativity or personal pursuits. This generation is often marked by a surge in creative or artistic endeavors. They contribute to cultural and artistic movements, shaping the arts, music, fashion, and other forms of expression. Their works often challenge established traditions and push the boundaries of creativity. Artists prioritize self-discovery and personal growth. They may embark on journeys of self-exploration and experimentation in various aspects of life, including career choices, relationships, and lifestyle. Artists are not afraid to question authority or challenge established systems. They may be critical of institutions and norms they see as restrictive or stifling of individuality. This generation tends to be open-minded and accepting of diverse perspectives and lifestyles. They often embrace change and adapt to evolving societal values. While baby boomers, born roughly between 1946 and 1964, are often associated with the prophets due to their role in the social upheaval of the 1960s, they also exhibit characteristics of an artist generation. As they moved into adulthood during times of relative prosperity in the post-World War II era, they contributed to significant cultural and artistic movements, including the counterculture and the rise of rock and roll. As the most recent generation to come of age, Generation Z, born roughly between the mid-1990s and the early 2010s, shows traits of an artistic generation. They have grown up in the digital age of information and self-expression, where creativity and individuality are highly valued. They're known for their embrace of diverse identities and causes. Artists contribute significantly to the cultural and creative landscape of society. Their emphasis on individualism and self-expression leads to innovations in art, music, fashion, and other forms of culture. They challenge societal norms, encourage open dialogue, and inspire new ways of thinking. While they may not be as institutionally focused as the hero generation, their contributions help shape the evolving cultural and creative identity of society. The artist generation serves as a bridge between periods of crisis and rebuilding. Their emphasis on self-discovery and individuality often helps society explore new possibilities and adapt to changing circumstances. While the prophets and nomads initiate change and the heroes rebuild institutions, the artists contribute to the ongoing evolution of culture and the celebration of individuality and self-expression. This dynamic interplay between generational archetypes is a central aspect of the fourth turning theory's perspective on societal change. These generational archetypes provide a lens through which we can understand how different generations perceive and respond to the world around them. While individuals within a generation are diverse, the shared experiences and common values of each archetype can offer valuable insights into the prevailing attitudes and behaviors of a particular era. This understanding of generational dynamics is central to the fourth turning theory's analysis of how societies evolve over time. The theory unfolds during 4 turnings, each lasting about 20 to 25 years. The first turning, known as the high, is characterized by unity and institution building after a crisis. In the second turning, or awakening, prophets challenge the norms and push for cultural change. The third turning, termed Unraveling, witnesses a decline in civic responsibility and the rise of individualism. Finally, the fourth turning, aptly named Crisis, marks the climax where the major crisis forces hero generations to restore order. The heart of the fourth turning theory lies in its division of history into 4 distinct turnings, each characterized by its unique societal mood, challenges, and dynamics. These turnings offer a framework for understanding how societies cycle through periods of crisis, awakening, unraveling, and rebirth. The first turning, also known as the high, occurs immediately after a major crisis or upheaval. During this period, society comes together with a shared sense of purpose and unity. People focus on rebuilding and strengthening institutions that may have been weakened or damaged during the crisis. This turning is marked by a commitment to community, a belief in collective responsibility, and a sense of optimism about the future. It's a time of societal cohesion and institutional development. The first turning is the initial phase in the fourth turning theory's cyclical model of generational change. During this period, society undergoes a transformative process characterized by rebuilding and strengthening of institutions, following a major crisis. Let's delve deeper into the characteristics and significance of the first turning. The first turning is marked by a strong sense of unity and collective purpose among the members of society. The shared experience of overcoming a crisis fosters a sense of togetherness and solidarity. One of the primary objectives of the first turning is to rebuild and reinforce essential institutions, such as government, economy, education, and healthcare. These institutions may have been strained or damaged during the preceding crisis, and their restoration is crucial for maintaining social order and stability. Society often reverts to traditional values and practices during the first turning. There is a renewed appreciation for established norms, customs, and the importance of continuity. This return to tradition helps restore a sense of familiarity and stability. Civic engagement and a sense of responsibility towards the community and the nation are high during this period. People actively participate in civic life, and there is a willingness to contribute to the common good. Optimism about the future prevails during the first turning. Society believes that it has overcome the worst of the crisis and is on the path to recovery and prosperity. This positive outlook often leads to a sense of hope and optimism about the future. The period immediately following World War II is a classic example of a first turning. The United States and many other nations experienced a sense of unity and purpose as they rebuilt their economies and institutions. Initiatives like the Marshall Plan contributed to post-war reconstruction, and there was a prevailing optimism about the possibilities of the future. Another historical first turning occurred during the Reconstruction era in the United States following the Civil War. The country grappled with the challenges of rebuilding the South and integrating formerly enslaved individuals into society. This period was marked by efforts to establish new social and political norms. The first turning serves as a critical period of recovery and institution building. It helps society regroup and strengthen itself following a major crisis. The emphasis on unity, tradition, and civic engagement contributes to the rebuilding of essential institutions and the establishment of social order. It's important to note that the optimism and sense of purpose experienced during the first turning can have a lasting impact on societal values and priorities. The institutions and policies put in place during this period often shape the trajectory of society for decades to come, influencing subsequent generational archetypes and their roles in the unfolding generational cycle. The first turning is a foundational phase in the fourth turning theory, characterized by institutional rebuilding, unity, and optimism following a crisis. It lays the groundwork for the subsequent phases of societal change, setting the stage for the evolving dynamics of generational cycles. Following the first turning, society enters the second turning, known as the Awakening. This is a period of cultural and ideological upheaval, where established norms and traditions are challenged. Prophetic generations, characterized by their idealism and desire for change, come to the forefront. They push for new ideas, values, and social reforms. The awakening is often marked by cultural clashes, activism, and a re-evaluation of societal values. The second turning is a phase in the fourth turning theory characterized by cultural and ideological upheaval. During this period, established norms and traditions are challenged, and society experiences significant cultural shifts. Here's a closer look at the characteristics and significance of the second turning. The second turning is marked by a cultural and ideological transformation. Established norms, values, and traditions are questioned, and new ideas and belief systems gain prominence. This can lead to a clash of values and ideologies. Social and political activism become prevalent during the awakening. Prophetic generations, characterized by their idealism and desire for change, often take center stage. They push for reforms and challenge existing power structures. Countercultural movements often emerge during this period. These movements reject mainstream culture and promote alternative lifestyles and belief systems. Examples include the counterculture of the 1960s and the Civil Rights Movement. The awakening is marked by challenges to authority and traditional institutions. Younger generations, in particular, may question the legitimacy of established leaders and institutions, leading to social and political unrest. There is often an emphasis on cultural diversity and the recognition of previously marginalized voices and identities. This can lead to greater acceptance of diversity and social inclusion. The countercultural movements of the 1960s and 1970s in the United States are a well-known example of a second turning. This era saw the Civil Rights Movement, the Women's Liberation Movement, the rise of the hippie counterculture, and the widespread protests against the Vietnam War. These movements challenged established social norms and advocated for change. The Great Awakening in colonial America during the 18th century is another historical example of an awakening. It was marked by religious revivalism and a questioning of traditional religious authorities. The movement had a profound impact on American society and contributed to shaping the religious and cultural landscapes. The second turning serves as a period of cultural and ideological ferment. It's a time of experimentation, activism, and a reevaluation of societal values. While it can lead to social and political unrest, it also has the potential to bring about significant social change and progress. The challenges to authority and the questioning of established norms can pave the way for reforms and the emergence of a new cultural paradigm. The second turning often sets the stage for the subsequent generational archetypes, influencing their beliefs and values. It highlights the importance of generational dynamics in shaping societal change and cultural evolution. While the awakening phase can be tumultuous, it plays a critical role in the ongoing cycle of societal transformation outlined in the fourth turning theory. As society progresses from the awakening, it enters the third turning, termed the Unraveling. During this time, individualism takes center stage and skepticism towards institutions grows. People become more focused on personal goals and less concerned with collective responsibilities. Social cohesion weakens and trust in institutions declines. This turning can be marked by political polarization, a decline in civic engagement, and a sense of societal fragmentation. The third turning is a phase in the fourth turning theory, characterized by increased individualism and skepticism towards institutions and societal norms. During this period, social cohesion weakens, and there is a decline in collective responsibility. Here's a more in-depth exploration of the characteristics and significance of the third turning. Individualism becomes a dominant theme during the unraveling. People focus on personal goals, self-expression, and individual rights. There is a diminished emphasis on collective responsibility and community. Society experiences a decline in social cohesion and the sense of shared purpose. Trust in institutions, whether they be political, religious, or social, erodes. People may become more skeptical of authority figures and institutions. The unraveling can lead to a societal fragmentation, with differing groups and individuals pursuing their interests and beliefs without a strong sense of unity. Polarization, both politically and socially, can intensify during this phase. There is often an embrace of cultural pluralism and diversity. This may lead to greater tolerance for different viewpoints, lifestyles, and identities, but it can also result in cultural clashes and conflicts. Institutions that were strengthened during the first turning may begin to erode or lose public trust. Skepticism towards established systems and a lack of faith in leadership can contribute to the weakening of these institutions. Some historians and theorists point to the late 20th century and the early 21st century as a period of unraveling in the United States. This era witnessed increased political polarization, declining trust in government and media, and a focus on individualism and personal expression. The Gilded Age in the United States, occurring in the late 19th century, is often cited as another example of an unraveling. This period saw significant economic inequality, social upheaval, and a focus on individual success and materialism. The third turning represents a time of increased individualism and skepticism towards societal institutions. While it can bring about greater personal freedoms and a celebration of diversity, it also poses challenges. The decline in social cohesion and trust in institutions can lead to political gridlock, social unrest, and a sense of alienation. This phase often sets the stage for the subsequent generational archetype, the hero generation, which emerges during the crisis, or the fourth turning. The hero generation is tasked with addressing the challenges and restoring order and cohesion in the wake of the societal unraveling experienced during the third turning. The unraveling phase highlights the cyclical nature of generational dynamics and societal change in the fourth turning theory. It serves as a period of reflection and examination of societal values, paving the way for the crisis and rebuilding that follows. The fourth turning, the final stage of the cycle, is the crisis. This turning is characterized by a major crisis or event that forces society to confront its deepest challenges. Hero generations, driven by a sense of duty and a desire to protect and rebuild, step forward. Institutions are thoroughly examined, and significant changes are made to address the crisis. The crisis turning can involve wars, economic upheaval, or other major disruptions. It's a time of transformation, and the outcome can lead to rebirth of societal values and institutions. The fourth turning is the climactic phase in the fourth turning theory, characterized by a major crisis or upheaval that forces society to confront its deepest challenges. This phase represents a time of intense struggle, but it also offers potential for rebirth and transformation. Here's a more detailed exploration of the characteristics and significance of the fourth turning. The defining feature of the fourth turning is a significant crisis or event that threatens the stability and continuity of society. This crisis can take various forms, such as economic collapse, war, political turmoil, or natural disaster. During the fourth turning, the hero generations, marked by their strong sense of civic duty and willingness to make sacrifices, comes to the forefront. They are tasked with addressing the crisis and leading society through the challenges it presents. The crisis often leads to a transformation of institutions and power structures. Existing systems may be dismantled or overhauled to address the pressing issues at hand. New leaders and ideas may emerge to guide the nation through the crisis. Society experiences a sense of collective sacrifice and shared purpose. People come together to confront the crisis and make sacrifices for the greater good. This period can foster a sense of unity and resilience. Despite the hardships, the fourth turning offers the potential for societal renewal and transformation. New values, priorities, and institutions may emerge from the ashes of the crisis, setting the stage for a new era. The period encompassing World War II and the Great Depression in the United States is often seen as a fourth turning. The nation faced economic collapse and the global turmoil of war. The hero generation of the time, known as the Greatest Generation, played a pivotal role in addressing these challenges and rebuilding society afterwards. The American Civil War and the subsequent Reconstruction period of the mid-19th century is another historical example of a fourth turning. This crisis tested the nation's unity and led to a reevaluation of its values and institutions. The fourth turning represents a pivotal moment in societal evolution. The crisis forces society to confront deep-seated issues and make significant changes to address them. It can be a time of great upheaval and uncertainty, but it also offers the potential for profound transformation and renewal. The hero generations, which come to age during the fourth turning, are tasked with the responsibility of leading society through the crisis and rebuilding afterwards. Their sense of duty, sacrifice, and commitment to the greater good plays a critical role in shaping the outcome of the crisis and determining the course of the subsequent generational cycle. The fourth turning is a time of major upheaval and rebirth in the fourth turning theory. It represents the critical juncture in the cyclical model of generational dynamics and societal change, offering both challenges and opportunities for societal transformation and renewal. These four turnings create a cyclical pattern that repeats approximately every 80 to 100 years. The fourth turning theory posits that this cyclical process is driven by the interplay between generational archetypes and their responses to the challenges and opportunities presented by each turning. Understanding where a society is within this cycle can provide insights into the prevailing societal mood and the potential trajectory of future events. However, it's important to note that the theory's predictive accuracy is a subject of debate among scholars. Strauss and Howe proposed that understanding these cycles could predict future societal trends and events. By analyzing the generational archetypes and the current turning, they believed we could gain insights into what challenges or opportunities lie ahead. However, critics argue that historical events are influenced by multiple factors, challenging the theory's predictive accuracy. While the fourth turning theory provides a framework for understanding generational dynamics and societal change, it's important to note that predicting future patterns with precision is challenging, especially for economists, as Economics Explained says. The theory offers valuable insights into how history has unfolded and how generations respond to crises. But it's not a crystal ball for forecasting specific events. Here are some of the key considerations while attempting to predict future patterns within the fourth turning framework. Generational archetypes, such as prophets, nomads, heroes, and artists, are generalized descriptions. Not every individual within a generation will exhibit all the characteristics associated with that archetype. People are diverse, and individual experiences vary widely. The specific historical and cultural context in which generational shifts occur can greatly influence the outcome. Different regions, countries, and societies experience generational dynamics differently based on their unique circumstances. The fourth turning theory suggests a cyclical pattern, but the length and timing of each turning can vary. Predicting when a crisis or turning will occur is difficult, as it depends on a complex interplay of historical events, generational lifestyles, and social, political, and economic factors. The theory does not account for unexpected external factors, such as technological advancements, natural disasters, or global events, which can significantly impact the course of history and generational dynamics. It's essential to consider ongoing socioeconomic and political trends when attempting to predict future patterns. These trends can influence generational attitudes, behaviors, and responses to crises. Human agency and innovation can disrupt historical patterns. New ideas, technology, and leadership can lead to unexpected developments and outcomes. The fourth turning theory operates as a long-term perspective, spanning decades or even centuries. Predicting specific short-term events and outcomes within this framework can be challenging. The fourth turning theory is not universally accepted among scholars and historians. Some critics argue that it oversimplifies complex historical processes and lacks empirical evidence to support its claims. While the fourth turning theory offers a valuable lens through which to analyze generational dynamics and societal change, predicting future patterns within this framework requires caution and recognition of its limitations. It can provide a broad understanding of historical cycles and generational behaviors, but the specific course of history is influenced by numerous factors, many of which are unpredictable. As such, any predictions made within the context of the theory should always be viewed as speculative and subject to change as new developments occur. While the fourth turning theory has garnered a following, it's not without its critics. Some scholars question the rigidity of generational archetypes and the extent to which historical events can be solely attributed to these cycles. Others argue that global events and contexts are more complex than a simple generational model can encompass. The fourth turning theory has generated significant debate and controversy within academic, historical, and sociological circles. While some find value in its insights into generational dynamics and societal change, others raise critical points and concerns. Here's an exploration of the key aspects of the debate and controversy surrounding the fourth turning theory. Critics argue that the fourth turning theory lacks robust empirical evidence to support its claims. While it draws from historical events and patterns, some find the theory's reliance on generational archetypes and cyclical patterns unconvincing. Detractors claim that the theory oversimplifies complex historical processes. They argue that history is shaped by a multitude of factors, including economics, politics, technology, and global events, which the theory may not adequately account for. The fourth turning theory is seen by some as a somewhat ambiguous and flexible framework. Critics argue that its generational archetypes and turnings can be interpreted in various ways, making it challenging to make precise predictions or test its validity empirically. A significant point of contention is the theory's predictive accuracy. While some proponents argue that it provides valuable insights into general trajectory of generational dynamics, critics contend that its predictive power is limited and it fails to predict specific events and outcomes. Some scholars argue that the theory may have limited applicability outside the United States and specified historical contexts. Different cultures and societies may experience generational dynamics and historical cycles differently. The characterization of generations into archetypes like prophets, nomads, heroes, and artists is seen by some as overly simplistic or reductionist. Critics argue that individuals within a generation are diverse and do not conform uniformly to these archetypes. Critics suggest that alternative explanations for generational and societal change, such as economic theories, political theories, and sociological frameworks, may offer more comprehensive and empirically grounded accounts for historical dynamics. There is a debate about whether the fourth turning theory should influence public policy or investment decisions. Critics caution against making policy decisions based solely on a theoretical framework without considering other economic, political, and social factors. Some critics express concern that the theory's emphasis on generational conflict and societal upheaval may foster division and fatalism, potentially influencing behavior in ways that are not constructive for society. The fourth turning has sparked a vigorous debate within the economic and intellectual community. While it offers a unique perspective on generational dynamics and societal change, Its limitations in terms of empirical evidence, predictive accuracy, and potential oversimplification of history are points of contention. Researchers, historians, and sociologists continue to engage with the theory, exploring its strengths and weaknesses, and considering its potential contributions to understanding the complexities of societal evolution. As we wrap up our exploration of the fourth turning theory, it's clear that this concept offers a thought-provoking lens through which to examine the interplay between generations and societal change. While its predictive capabilities remain debated, there's no denying the significance of generational dynamics in shaping the course of history. And there you have it, a deep dive into the captivating world of the fourth turning theory. I hope this journey shed light on the intricate dance of generational dynamics and how they weave the fabric of history. As we conclude, let's recap some of the key takeaways and reflect on the significance of this theory. First and foremost, the fourth turning theory introduces to us the idea that history does not unfold randomly. Instead, it follows a rhythmic pattern characterized by four distinct generational archetypes: prophets, nomads, heroes, and artists. Each of these archetypes plays a vital role in shaping the course of history, from triggering crises to rebuilding societies and redefining cultural norms. Understanding these generational archetypes equips us with a powerful tool for analyzing the past and gaining insights into the present and future. It reminds us that history is not a linear progression, but a cycle, with periods of crisis and rebirth occurring in predictable sequence. Moreover, this theory encourages us to appreciate the interplay between generations. Each generation brings its unique strengths and weaknesses, values and beliefs to the table. By recognizing and respecting these differences, we can foster greater understanding and cooperation among generations, ultimately contributing to more harmonious societies. As we wrap up, I encourage you to reflect on how the fourth turning theory applies to the world around you. Do you see evidence of generational cycles in your own life, in your community, or on a broader scale? How might this theory influence your perspective on historical events or your interactions with the people from different generations? I hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to delve even deeper into the fascinating world of generational dynamics and societal change. As we part ways for now, remember that history is not just a story of the past. It's a map guiding us into the future. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found this video informative and thought-provoking. This is the point at which others tell you, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more content just like this. But we know that that kind of thing is for losers. Don't be a loser. And as always, I welcome your feedback and ideas for future videos in the comments section below. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep embracing your inner nude, dude.